Hello everyone, Brendan Marcello here, Jackson, Clarion Ledger. Actually sitting in, I guess, a supply closet of sorts here at the Humphrey Coliseum. Can't get to the court. Court's been locked up. What Mississippi State hopes is their last appearance here. They don't want the NIT, but they definitely did something right today to not drop to the NIT, winning 79-59 against Arkansas. Their 20-point win being the largest of the season, actually the largest in a few years actually here against an SEC team. And it was senior day, and the seniors definitely stepped up. Those two guys, D. Boss and Brian Bryant, combining for 31 points in what was really a dunk fest, especially late in the first half. That kind of set the tone and just kind of, I guess, put Arkansas on its heels. The Razorbacks were down 37-23 at halftime, and it's kind of interesting. Rick Stansbury told his team at halftime, this is a Arkansas team that was was down 17 points to Auburn, came back and won a week ago, so don't relax. Well, Mississippi State definitely did not relax. They built a 29-point lead at one point with 5 minutes remaining and just coasted from there, even got the walk-ons in. And Taylor Luxack, the third senior on the roster, a walk-on, even got a basket. So good times for the Bulldogs, but there's still work to do, and that was kind of the attitude from talking to these players after the game. They know that they probably have to win one or two more games to get in the NCAA tournament. I think from talking to people and the prognosticators and the bubble people, the bracketologists, whatever you want to call them, they think that if Mississippi State wins one more game in the SEC tournament against Georgia on Thursday night at 9 p.m. in New Orleans, that they're in. But there's work to do. You have to watch out those other conference tournaments, see if there's any upsets. Almost had one Saturday. Murray State had to rally late to beat Tennessee State in the Ohio Valley Conference Tournament Championship. So a lot of bubble teams were exhaling after that one. But this Mississippi State team, it could have went one of two ways after that 5-game losing streak. And after the way Arnett Moultrie kind of called out his teammates Monday, you thought, oh boy, either this is going to rally them or they're just going to tank. And they're on a 2-game winning streak right now. They're hoping to get to 3. If they get to 3, I think this is an NCAA tournament team. But I think that what you saw against South Carolina was a Mississippi State team that did whatever it could to win that game. 3 players had double-doubles, which was the first time in Mississippi State history. It showed you how tough they were going to play. And they played tough again Saturday against Arkansas, a game that Mississippi State just could do whatever they wanted to in the paint, and Arkansas couldn't answer. And Arkansas didn't press a lot, and their defense didn't force turnovers like there was in that first meeting, if you remember, when Mississippi State turned the ball over 18 times in a 98-88 loss. That was actually a little bit bigger than that from what the score showed in that game in Fayetteville in January. But Mississippi State only turned the ball over 6 times tonight, and that 6 times was a season low, tied for a season low with the South Alabama game. So Mississippi State they were poised, they played hard, and as Arkansas coach Mike Anderson said, he just thought that Mississippi State had more enthusiasm, more energy, which is something you haven't really heard a lot about this Mississippi State team, especially during that 5-game losing streak. But Mississippi State's definitely back on track now. They still have work to do, which is going to make it a very interesting and I'm sure exciting week for Mississippi State fans as they go into that game Thursday. But I think that the good news, and as D. Boss pointed this out, he was a part of that team 4 years ago that made that run to win the SEC Tournament Championship. And he said that it all started with Georgia that year, and it starts again with Georgia this year. Georgia, a team that actually started that 5-game losing streak for the Bulldogs in the month of February, if you remember. A team that came into Humphrey Coliseum that no one thought could knock off Mississippi State. They went to overtime and Georgia won it. They were hitting shots left and right. Mississippi State didn't have the energy level then. I asked D. Boss after the game tonight against Arkansas if they're motivated by that, and he said yes, they are motivated by it. And I think that in that 6-11 seed is probably about as good a game as you can ask for because Mississippi State won't be overlooking them because they'll be playing for the NCAA tournament lives, and also there's that added motivation from being defeated by Georgia earlier this season. So State 21-10 overall, 8-8. I'll check their RPI here later. I'm sure it's probably in the 50s now. But Mississippi State still has work to do, and that's what D. Boss said. He believes they still have work to do. We'll find out if they can get it done on Thursday, but it's definitely going to be an exciting week to cover and to follow for the Bulldogs, and I hope you join me in following the latest news on Twitter at @bmarcello, and of course in the Clarion Ledger and at clarionledger.com. Mississippi State, a 79-59 winner against Arkansas. Arnett Moultrie, 20 points with 10 rebounds, his 18th double-double. D-Boss has 16. Brian has 15 on their senior nights as they bid farewell to Humphrey Coliseum, to which they hope is their last game in Humphrey Coliseum because they don't want to have to host an NIT game. They want to get to the NCAA Tournament. Until, I guess, Thursday in New Orleans, I'll see you guys down the road.